Guys, I want to do a video on our last trade setup of the motive wave. This morning we had a corrective wave. The last video, if you go to daytradingthefutures.com, daytradingthefutures.com, and click methodology, then click videos. We do these videos all the time so you understand the setup. Remember this morning I did a video, you can go back to it and you can see this corrective wave that we got into. The corrective wave is you broke back inside that low value area and you take the first retracement short. It was against 5-minute trend. You're allowed to take the first retracement long, and that gave us a corrective wave. So go to the last video to see that. We only trade J signal at the 3-sim Renko if you're breaking out of market profile or breaking back inside a market profile. And this is what happened. We broke back inside of LVA, took the first corrective wave long. The stop out phase would be this. I don't want you to trade the 3-sim Renko in between the profiles, meaning if you're here's HVA, here's low value area. Don't trade. I call this a stop out signals, meaning don't be trading signals if they're in the middle of high value and low value area. If you're trading a 3-sim Renko or 3-sim Renko or smaller time frame, I just want you to look for the setups when you break outside or inside of a low value area or high value area, and then take the first retracement long, retracement short with the J signal entry. That's the best way to trade market profile, okay, off a J signal. Because if you look, let's go to our motive wave now. Look at this huge trade we just got in this morning. If you look at the setup phase, now it's a motive wave. It's with 5-minute trend. 5-minute trend was down, and we broke below right here. We broke below low value area. So we broke below. We start closing below low value area right there. Look at that close below low value area. That tells you take the first retracement short. Now this is called a motive wave. Remember, we just have one setup with J signal you need to learn. It's called a number 3 trade. That's a breakdown retest. Okay, it's a breakdown retest. Let market profile break through. Let it retest on the first retracement. There's your J signal short with the pull-in bar. Use a pull-in bar technique right there after the arrow or the triangle, and that gave us a big move down. So if you noticed, that is our big setup called a number 1, number 3. So the difference between a motive and a corrective is this. A motive is with 5-minute trend, and a corrective is against 5-minute trend. They're both called number 3 patterns. But what set the trade up is market profile. Market profile set the whole trade up. I got back inside of LVA. That set that retracement corrective wave long against 5-minute trend. I got back outside of LVA with 5-minute trend being down, and that set that first retracement short up, and that produced a huge trade to the downside, and she got cranked all the way down on that motive wave. So there's only 2 wave patterns. There's a corrective wave, which I did the last video on, right? Got back inside of LVA that set the trade up, take the first retracement. Then I got back below LVA, take the first retracement, market profile sets a trade up, J signals a trigger. So don't forget this rule, okay? Make sure we got this. All right, don't forget this simple rule. Market profile sets a trade up, J signal is the entry or trigger. That's all we got to remember on J signal. And look at the 2 massive trades it produced this morning. Okay? And there will be only 2 setups, right? I mean 2 wave patterns off of this. All right, so you got market profile is going to set the trade up, and J signal is the entry. There's only 2, so there's only 1 pattern we trade. It's called the number 3 pattern of J signal. Only 1 setup to learn. But there's 2 wave patterns off the number 3. There's called a motive wave that's with the 5-minute trend, and there's called a corrective wave against the 5-minute trend. Against the 5-minute trend, you must close inside of market profile. Here, the 5-minute trend was down on the first corrective wave. It closed inside of LVA. There's your first retracement. That's a corrective wave. Then the 5-minute moving averages turned down. So we got below low value area. That's a motive wave. You take the first retracement short, and that is a motive wave. So there's only 2 wave patterns. There's a corrective wave and a motive wave. A corrective wave is a counter wave. You cannot, according to my methodology, trade the corrective wave unless you get back inside of LVA or HVA. You cannot trade. You're not allowed to trade. Can't do it. Not allowed to do it unless you get back inside of LVA or HVA, then you take the first retracement retest. Okay? That's how we do it. Now, my number 1, which called the exact high again today on gold and called the low on crude, both We're number one trades. We use a pull-in bar within 2 ticks of these black charts. Very simple. You come within 2 ticks of market profile. If the market's in a downtrend, sell the first test of HVA and use a pull-in bar technique, and that caught that number one high. So been some great trading today. Number 3 corrective into my number 1 short. My market profile called the high, and then my J signal called the motive wave here also. All right? That's how you do things.